Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Sebastian LAMBOUR. I am a software developer in a startup, and I'm talking about sleep analysis for mood disorders. Okay. Why should you take part in projects like the OpenIoTChallenge organized by the Eclipse Foundation? For me, the reason was for change the world. Because all is based on a personal conviction to realize something. Matthias Herbert, the CTO of my company, comes one morning to the office and say, "Hi guys, if you have an idea to submit for the Eclipse OpenIoTChallenge, go ahead, it's now." But I didn't have an idea. I had a problem. My problem is I'm living with a child with mood disorder. He was diagnosed 3 years ago. He is now 13. More especially, he has cyclothymia. This is a specific type of chronic mood disorder. During this time, one of my obsessions was to understand this disease in order to fight it. Bipolar disorder, also called manic depressive disorder, is an unstable emotional condition characterized by a cycle of abnormal persistent high mood, the mania, and low mood, the depression. Kay Whitfield Jamison and others have explored the possible links between mood disorders and creativity. Beyond these famous faces, the reality is hard. They will not have the same life experience than us. They are more exposed to heart attack and stroke. The second reason of premature death is suicide, and this disease is not the privilege of stars. Today, 16 million people are diagnosed in the world, and the way of the mood stabilization is long and hard. Each intensive phase up or down puts them into a danger zone with their side effects: addiction, suicide, borderline behavior, psychiatric hospitalization. This list is not exhaustive. Any social life is destroyed progressively. In OCDE countries, 53% of them will not be able to work, even with a strong level of education. According to the World Health Organization, mood disorders are the 5th cause of handicap in the world. But this is only the tip of the iceberg, because mood disorders are underdiagnosed. In terms of lifetime prevalence, the number of people within the population who are expected to develop a particular disorder, we are talking about 4%. The review of data gathered from large population studies suggests that having bipolar disorder is similar of being a smoker in terms of increasing person risk of early death. With a simple projection, as one smoker dies every 6 seconds, one person suffering of mood disorders will die every 30 seconds. And everybody in this room, not somebody with mood disorder, because with 4% of the population, you have a colleague, a friend, of people in your family with this disease. But there is no fatality. Because reading neuroscience book and publication discover that correlation exists between the mood variation and the sleep architecture. The organization of the REM sleep is different. The latency sleep is increased, and globally the sleep quality is degraded. This mechanism comes from an alteration of the clock gene. The clock gene is the circadian locomotor output cycle caput. This gene is able to make regulation between the night and the day, and the regulation inside the night between the different cycles. Mutant clock has been also linked to bipolar disorder like symptoms in mice, including mania and euphoria. Clock mutant mice also exhibit increased accessibility of dopamine neurons. One of the consequences is the desynchronization of the different biological clocks. This desynchronization acts as an amplifier of mania and depression episodes. The most surprising fact is that modifications of a sleep architecture can start up to 15 days before a mania or depressive episode without any clinical symptoms. If you react sooner, you can limit the negative impact of depression and mania by adjust the treatment with a psychiatrist, adopt a more healthy lifestyle, use psychoeducation, also mindfulness meditation. Preserve the sleep quality is essential to the success of the mood stabilization. But the polysomnographic devices are terribly effective for that, but you cannot use it in a daily basis at home. And even if you could have wearable devices, it is not possible today, every day, to analyze the data generated by sleep trackers. Wearable sleep trackers exist, but they are made for the general public and not first for medical usage. From a technological point of view, this device is integrated force sensors, which made it possible to obtain a ballistocardiographic record. Data can be extracted from this record in order to be analyzed in a different point of view. As data analytics and automation create value, connect it to a simple device, simplify interaction, and integrate all that into a psychoeducation application for patients and psychiatrists could solve the problem. I was not ready for start the OpenIoTChallenge with only one obsession: go as far as I can, and create the first sleep tracker dedicated to mood disorders. But starting a project from scratch is always hard. You have to identify value stream and collapse all technological incertitude. Lean startup methodologies helps me to try to be more effective as possible for at the end, responsible question is a MVP doable with a minimum of investment, time and money. In fact, cover all the IoT change value alone is too hard. I didn't have time to develop a BCG sensor. My first choice was to hack an existing sleep tracker and replace the smartphone application by Raspberry Pi, but I didn't have no idea about the protocol used by the devices. Fortunately, Sniff, the Bluetooth on Android is really simple. You can log your own Bluetooth HCI packets and save them to a file on the device in order to analyze them later with Wireshark. I was lucky because the data structure was really simple to analyze, and extracting and plotting 1,000 of data points was enough to observe something like a respiratory rate and confirm that the protocol decoding is correct. This stage was a prerequisite of building the data acquisition system step by step. Without any certitude then the next step is doable or not. Just 3 years ago, developed this type of device at a very significant cost. But today, with open hardware and software, I've completely changed the game. High-quality base bricks are available, and the IoT ecosystem are growing. Developers, hackers can be focused on the most important thing, the product. For me, all data collected inside the bait are sensitive. I didn't feel comfortable by the idea of uploading them on the cloud. So an approach of privacy by design was mandatory. I chose the concept of edge analytics, embed all the data storage and analytics inside the device or inside the Raspberry Pis. Because the ARM Cortex CPU, widely used, is powerful enough for this type of application. You can run a JVM and use the Java ecosystem for build your application. Finally, build this application on Vert.x was simpler. A vertical interacts with the Bluetooth devices, get the raw data, and push them on the event bus. Another vertical, a data consumer, inject them into a time series database, Warp10. Finally, Vert.x exposes an API and a progressive web app in order to interact with the device from a mobile. This part of this project was fun, but I did only my job as software engineers, and with the same result, visualize raw data from a sensor, but collect only automatically. At this step, even if you create a fantastic application, the value creation is limited by design. Because in this application, value creation does not come from an elegant and beautiful plumbing, but from data analytics. This had to happen, even for developer. The first part is extract metrics from a BCG recording. The respiration period and the heart rate are available in a signal, and I had to extract them. There was a structural problem. I hate statistics. Due to a statistic teacher more interested about bashing students than transmit his knowledge. And I am good enough for playing with simple statistics, but it was not enough for realize this project. For that, I had a chance. I am working in a startup, building an open source solution for simplify working with time series. I am familiar with time series concept, even if it is not my specialty. My daily job is to build secure analytics solution for the industry and build up edge analytics solution mixed with the concept of a digital twin. And I am not James Bond, but the person responsible to the security of the data on this infrastructure. I have more hacker skills today. If you look at this graph, I have substantive expertise, I have hacking skills, so I have a very limited statistic knowledge. I was basically in the danger zone for this type of project. And I had to find a way in order to leave this danger zone. The first thing I do is detect if somebody is in the bed or not. When nobody is in a bed, the amplitude is limited to 10 millivolts. When somebody is in the bed, we analyze the amplitude is about 1 volt. The analyze strategy was really simple. Make a discrimination of both signals on a window larger than 2 respiration. You take the max, the mean, and you have a criteria. And this criteria is really stable. It is still simple statistic. This is a thing I can do every day, but it doesn't create value. This is not data science. The second thing I had to do is to remove the agitation when you have a move inside the bed from the slow signal to extract. I use other tools like exponential smoothing and integrate moving and range in order to have a stable criteria to remove the body movement from the original time series. I was really enjoyed by this work done a weekend, but the Monday in the office, my colleague, a data scientist working on deep learning and convolutional networks, asked me a single question. Cool. Did you create value based on the data? The answer was still no. In fact, it was just time series plumbing. I didn't extract the biological signal from the raw data. For this part, the solution comes from a book about forecasting describing a method of seasonality trend decomposition. After learning how it works, I was able to decompose respiration from the heartbeats. I felt happy. For the first time, I make a little bit of data science. But if you apply this algorithm during a complete night, you get this type of chart. And once again, I felt a little bit lost because I had to restart from scratch another analytics strategy in order to extract metrics of a sleep architecture. Once again, solution comes from research publication finding into a Japan Institute of Research working on REM analysis from heart rate. By using this algorithm, it is now possible to extract the different phases. When the night is ended, we can extract three metrics: the time needed for falling asleep, the time awake for during the night, and the quality of the REM sleep, also known as paradoxal sleep. It is still not that I'm still not a data scientist, but build this analytics pipeline was for me mind-blowing. But one night doesn't give you the insight for build a predictive model, because you have to analyze the key metric for the long period. And the evolution of this metric on a period of 30 days gives an overall trend of the sleep quality and the potential impact with mood disorder. This model has to be medically confirmed, but gives hopes for adapted treatment prior major crisis phases. This graph is from my son, and I have the correlation between the metrics collected and extracted and the clinical symptoms that I constate during the days. At this step, the Eclipse OpenIoTChallenge was ended, and I received an award, and I'm fully grateful to the Eclipse Nation for support this project. From a data science point of view, I think a little bit like a Padawan. So now my goal is to continue to learn data science in order to improve my model. But I could not make that without developers, without open source communities, because I was completely focused on the project and not on the plumbing. On this project, I was using technologies like Groovy, languages like Groovy and Java, automation for deploy in the Raspberry Pi via Ansible, the build chain tools and the IDE was Gradle and Eclipse IDE. The operating system was Debian, the front end Polymer, the toolkit Vert.x, Warpscript for time series platform, and hardware based on Raspberry Pi. So this project is fully open source, and all the code is contributed to on GitHub. The goal is to continue in order to build a model for preserve the creativity for children with mood disorders without the side effects of the malady. And preserve the creativity is really important because they don't think like us. This is the step where I am today on this project. But today I make it only for one. And at the end, my goal is to make for all the children with disease. And Yoda Master give the solution. On this project, you can do or do not, but there is no try. You have to make it completely. That's the reason for which InTheMoodForLife will not be only a sleep analysis, but a life assistant for mood disorders. What is coming next? A medical validation of the extraction model, because without a medical validation, you cannot have a product approach. For that, I need to have a confidence level of the quality of the extraction made on ballistocardiogram sensors. The next problem is related to machine learning, because the sleep architecture is not stable. Each person in the world has its own sleep architecture. And I have to make studies in order to build a correlation matrix between EEG and a BCG in order to train a perceptron multilayer and build an automatic decomposition adapted to the large case possible. The goal of that is to give the right insight when you have to sleep in order to be aligned with your melatonin secretion and limit the impact of the clock desynchronization. The second thing to do is to build a system in order to interact with your psychiatrist, because the application is not a doctor, and the goals are dependent of the type of bipolarity. You cannot treat a bipolarity of type 1 like a bipolarity of type 2, like a schizophrenia. The approach is completely different. But, in fact, we are talking about digital pills, because this application can reduce the needs of chemical medication. Since the Eclipse OpenIoTChallenge, something have changed. Apple acquires Bedit, so any collaboration with Bedit is now not possible. But I can continue to build this device without Bedit by designing a small device to put inside the room in order to interact directly with a button when you go to sleep, with environmental sensor in order to have the condition of your environmental of sleeping, the first sensor integrated into the bed, and a mood feedback at the morning to say, is it okay today or not, in order to consult your application. All is possible with open source hardware, with board like the Olimex R64 board, and light sensors, analogic digital converter, a force sensor to put inside the bed, and the last is the temperature and humidity sensors. The another step will be to build the interaction model between the practitioner and the devices in order to preserve the privacy, because the data gathered inside the bed are really sensitive, and practitioners have only to have a medical feedback on global trends and statistics and not the details of the daily life. All that we need the most thing important in the world, the time and the money. So if I continue this project, I will have to make maybe a crowdfunding in order to build the first step of hardware building and find many people with mood disorder in order to test it in the real environment. Thank you very much. I forget the vote slide, so if you could vote for this talk, it could be great. Thank you. Any question?
Are you thinking of other sensors that could help you get even more information beyond just the force sensor?
Yeah. I think about the sensor of another startup named Dream. This is electroencephalogram sensors, which you can beam ping noise in order to change and to change the sleep cycle directly. But I don't know if the user experience is good, because you have to have a device on your head during the night. And finally, the problem of wearable is just you have to wear it. And the sensor inside the bed have a big advantage, you don't have to wear it.
I have another question. How do people, like if you're to launch a crowdfunding something, how do people keep in touch? Twitter would be the best way to learn about the future of the project? Do you have a website or?
No, For the moment, I don't have a website. I will have to build a website, a community approach, because all this project is open source. And I will talk with another experimentation, Open APS. They are building an open source medical devices for artificial pancreas. And maybe we have a collaboration on that in order to build a medical ecosystem environment. But yes, it is important to make to communicate about the project. For the moment, I am focused on the technology because it has been reliable before give it to a larger public. If it is not reliable, it is too dangerous to deploy it in the nature and look at it if it works or not.
There is no demo?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Demo.
No.
Have you got the demo?
No, sorry, there is no demo because the demo for the moment is not really interesting because we have only the evolution of last 9 analyzed. But I will have to build a demo based on the new hardware on London with the physical device. For the moment, I have only one embedded device, and it is installed inside a bed that could not take him with me today. Thank you.